So, Eric, Stockholm, silver for the seconds, gold for the firsts. Tell us how you're feeling.
Immensely proud. I think it's a fantastic achievement for the club as a whole. To be able to bring two squads on tour is always a fantastic experience. And the way the apprentices performed after day one, where they had a couple of disappointing results, a lot of players who had never played before were just finding out, what their best positions are. I think special mention has to go to Ben. Ben could have played in the first team squad. Ben realised that because we were in between managers, he took that selfless decision to basically sacrifice himself from the first team to take the running of the second team. And it takes a special person to do that. And I think he's not been given enough credit for doing that, because Ben is a first team player. But I think that's wonderful what he did, and what he's created with the help of Finney and others to get a silver medal for that apprentices squad. We can talk about the goals. It's easy for me. I pick the best players. But for him to do that with the help of the squad, Ben's a star in my eyes.
The old foe, Manchester, in the final. Talk us through those two games.
Well, we'd played them in the group stage, and it was a must-win game because we'd slipped up against Seattle, and we played really well against them in the group stage. We had a tough semi-final against the Italian team, and I thought we did really well against a good Italian team. It was a very good-natured game as well, which was nice to see after what happened in Budapest. The final against Manchester is always going to be a good old-fashioned British game. I thought we got a good opening. We picked our usual formation. We changed it a little bit. We brought Ian on to add a little bit of spunk in attack, and had an instant reward with a lovely move. And no, that was the second goal. Sorry, first goal came from a fantastic header from Ian Cahoe, who literally has just joined the club. The second goal was from a great move and a goal from Nasser. They got one back on the stroke of half time, but in the second half I just thought we controlled the game really well without ever having to overextend ourselves. There's always going to be a couple of panicky moments, but this football club knows how to play finals and it knows how to manage games, and it just makes me feel so proud.
There's been a lot of talk about too many gay football tournaments in one season and the standard of the competition going down, but did you feel that the standard had gone down or up in this competition?
I thought the standard in this competition was good. I thought the fact that you had the Stockholm team get into the semi-finals, a team that traditionally is not one of the strongest teams, I thought they performed brilliantly. The Italian team's perhaps not quite as strong as I expected, and I thought we played extremely well. Manchester are always a good team, so I think it was a good football tournament. And I thought Seattle was really good as well. They were a bit unlucky the way the draw panned out. They ended up having to play 3 games on the Friday, and that counted against them. So it was a good standard of football. Other than day one, there was no real victories by more than 1 or 2 goals. So that tells you about the standard of football.
And with the squads getting older, how long do you think this current squad can keep playing together?
Well, I take a little bit of issue with that. Yes, the squad is getting older in certain areas, but the squad's also getting younger in certain areas, right? You look at the semi-final, myself and Ian, who've pretty much started every knockout game in the last 15 years, neither of us got on the field. And in our place, we've got Mateus, who's 26, 27 years old. We've got Ian Cahoe, who's come into midfield in his 20s. We've got people at home who couldn't make it on tour. I think gradually there's a small little changing of the guard. At the back, it's difficult. Nigel and Darren are colossal, and they're a medical freak show at their age, and it's just amazing what they achieve. But there is that slow changing of the guard, and it will continue.
And finally, Eric, how many more years do you see yourself managing this team?
I knew you would ask me that, and as I just said about 5-10 minutes ago, with every tour and with every season, I think, okay, another gold, maybe a good time or another good season in the league, good time. But when you sit around everybody and you spend the time with people, some who are good friends, some who you've met probably and spent time with for the first time, it just reignites the fire in the belly. It really does. And when you've got 41 people sat round the table today, and we've got 41 people out here, from Ashley Pitcher at 56 to Stephen Cross at 12, or however old he is, it just reignites the fire in the belly to keep going. And you know what? One day I might have to make that decision, or one day someone might just have to scrape me out the dugout. So we'll see which comes first.